Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back to your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Ripple and XRP as well as the vast majority of crypto. And I want to go over what I mentioned in yesterday's video. We were talking about a big move happening on Bitcoin, and ultimately in the past day, we've seen it. From the level that I was looking at, I was waiting for us to break out of this resistance channel. We are already up. Well, we were up about 11%. We're up about 9.21% today. But I've been looking at the weekly, and on the weekly, we have broken through all EMAs. And this looks very, very good. So what I've been looking at is a retest of the 1414 to the 1618, which would be breaking up into like the 31K region. Hey, we could even tap the 1272 before getting this rejection. But I do expect us to retest 25.3K, flip it into support, and then have us continue higher. This would be as backtesting resistance, major resistance, and flipping it into support and kind of building a floor here, which I personally would love to see. And it would look like something like this. Anywhere around this region, we get that rejection down. We kind of just trail here, build a floor, and then we have that higher continuation up well past 40K. And ultimately, that's where we really focus on, okay, are we going to make a new all-time high, or are we going to reject beforehand, and is this going to be just a relief rally? Nonetheless, we have been waiting to see if we will get the wave 5 this year, which would ultimately bring us up to like the 100K region, which we've talked about in the past. But I think that we have the most bullish overall narrative being pushed around crypto, which we will talk about. But we've also been looking at the total, which does include all assets, including XRP, Ethereum, etc. And this thing is looking like it wants to retest resistance going all the way back to August of last year, which would be at about $1.18 trillion. This is the level that I'm most interested in for us to break out and continue higher. And I have been focused on the 1414 and the 1618, which is up at about almost $1.5 trillion, which is going to be a huge area of focus if we do get to retest that zone. But for the most part, price action looks very strong in this market. I'm watching it continuously. And even XRP, which I know that most people are going to say, well, XRP does nothing, it's just sitting here. I want you to understand that this price action, now we're looking at this on the weekly chart. This price action here, where we're just trading sideways, this should be 100% welcomed in. It is allowing you to accumulate before the big push to the upside. What I mean is, when we look at past previous price action, even going all the way back to 2020, we did have this long sideways rolling process. It was a downtrend as well. These downtrends usually break out, and it was just sideways momentum until we got the price action that we wanted. Even going all the way back to, previous run-ups to the all-time high. Look at this long rolling process of XRP doing practically nothing all the way up until 2017. So I do think that we will get that same exact price action, maybe not the exact percentage to the upside, but we are waiting for this to be broken and for it to really wake up and go boom, break to the upside. So we are waiting for that. I do believe that that will happen eventually. I think that our time is coming, but for the most part, we just need to sit stable because, again, remember, as Bitcoin is taking off and Bitcoin dominance is rising as well, most altcoins will not get a lot of volume in, so we'll probably see just sideways price action like we are seeing here, or we might even see a little bit of a downtrend happening where we do retest support, and then we get that, run up in the market when Bitcoin dominance finally, turns over as Bitcoin just continues to go higher or even hits stable levels. But I did mention over on Twitter that we do have one of the most bullish narratives being pushed right now. I even said I imagine the most bullish narrative to be peddled around crypto would be the safe haven against bank runs. The original idea behind Bitcoin will most likely be tested at the end of this year or 2024. And honestly, you could argue that's already being tested. For the last couple weeks, we have been reporting on the banking industry. When we go look at the major banks, we've been focused on the major bank stocks. I mean, this year, these are down 17.56% as a whole. This is a $2 trillion market cap industry. This is the largest industry to focus on because these are the big banks. And even today, we did see some close double-digit figures in the negative area. For example, UMB Financial Corporation was down 10.74%. Pretty bad, right? These are big banks, very, very large banks. But if you are looking at, just the market cap, right? Look at the market cap. So largest market cap, JP Morgan, down about 3.78%. Some of these were down a little bit more going over the last couple days. When we actually look at these, though, in terms of like an actual chart, so let's open the chart real quick on JP Morgan. The thing that I've been focused on is look at the mass sell-off that's happening on these. This is on the weekly chart. We go to the daily chart. Look at this. So this is just in a free fall practically right now, and it's because of the risk that banks are running into right now. We are seeing major bailouts happening. This is down 13% from just March 3rd, March 6th. And even if you go all the way back to February 7th, it's down a little bit more. But this is crazy to me that we are living in this time where banks are now being looked at as the enemy. And this is allowing a narrative to be pushed around crypto and ultimately allow individuals to say, okay, well, where am I going to park my money into? Am I going to park it into gold, silver? Am I going to park it in stocks? Am I going to park it in crypto? And I think that that's what's happening right now. I think money is trickling out of the banks into other assets. It could be crypto, it could be gold, silver. And I've always said diversify outside of crypto. Listen, it's not all about crypto. Make sure that you are positioning yourselves and diversifying your investment assets. I am a very, very strong believer of gold and silver. I think that silver actually might ROI better than Bitcoin or than gold. Sorry. And I think that Bitcoin itself obviously is going to have an incredible year. I've talked about it. I do believe that Bitcoin could ultimately make new all-time highs, depending on how much liquidity gets pushed into the system. But I have been focusing on the banking system because right now banks are starting to fail. I think that banks are now looked at as it's almost as if they are an enemy for the retail sector because I think that a lot of people are fearing that a 2008 like scenario is brewing, and I would argue that we are getting very close to if that is being true or not. And we are definitely waiting currently on what's going to happen next. But we have been seeing a huge update around the banking sector. Caitlin Long actually reported on this earlier today, and it says finally independent investigation into the bank failures by the GAO is incoming. Good. The failures here call for external auditors to do the investigating, and here we had from Financial Services GOP. Chairman Patrick McHenry and Ranking Member Rep. Maxine Waters sent a letter to the USGAO calling for an independent investigation into recent bank failures. So this is big. This is a big deal. And yeah, I mean, as we look at the banking sector, it is weakening. It is crumbling. And this is also why I think that a lot of people are hedging against, fiat currencies. I think that fiat currencies and the entire system is about to combust. And what's going to happen is we will see a new system rise from this. We will see something very, very large shift within everyday life. And it's going to be centered on the new financial system. And we do see over here a new study by economists is warning that 186 banks may be prone to similar risk to the collapsed SVB. Yesterday, Janet Yellen said not all uninsured deposits would be protected in future bank failures, only those that pose systemic risk, picking winners and losers. Incredible. This is what I've said. This is what I've said many times. A lot of people think, oh, my bank will be covered under FDIC. I don't have $250,000 in my bank account. No, no, this is not what's happening. See, the thing is that the FDIC only has a select amount of money in reserves, which we've talked about. It's like in the $100 billion area. And they are not going to bail out the small men, right? They're not going after the retail sector. No, they are going to bail out the big elite banks, the big, players. This is what happens. This is exactly what happens. The rich continue to become rich. They get bailouts. They don't care about the poor. They do not care about you. I've said this time and time again in the past. And also, we do see over here as well, banks making deposits into First Republic Bank. I reported on this as well. The First Republic Bank, they were a big one. Now we have $5 billion each from Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Citigroup, and JP Morgan. And $2.5 billion each from Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley. And we have $1 billion each from Truist, PNC, US Bancorp, State Street, and even Bank of New York Mellon. I want you guys to understand. That they are trying to hold up First Republic Bank. This is why when we go over here and we look through the banking sector, they are all in the negative. I'm telling you right now that this year is going to be the year where people really realize just how weak the banking sector is. And by the way, when we actually look at this, yesterday I focused on a significant bank, Credit Suisse. They got a bailout from their central bank. Well, guess what? Now we do see over here from Crypto Airy, Credit Suisse was acquired by Switzerland's largest financial group, UBS. And here's the official report. Credit Suisse acquired by Switzerland's largest financial group, UBS. Major bailout. We are seeing major bailouts along the entire banking industry. This is forcing individuals that are seeing the risk to pull their capital out of banks and put it into other asset classes. Again, I do believe that this is the most bullish narrative that we've seen around crypto. And I think that what we are seeing right now around the price action of crypto is a huge indicator that individuals are trying to park their money in something that they deem safe. Even over here from Wall Street Silver, 4 major banks, including Societe Generale and Deutsche Bank, have put restrictions on their trades involving Credit Suisse. This is what happened in 2008 to Lehman in the days before its collapse. Trading counterparties started declining to do business with them. I'm telling you guys right now, we need to make sure that we are paying attention to the banking sector, because what we are about to see is a major shift. And I don't think that a lot of people are realizing this. In fact, I don't think a lot of individuals just realize how large this actually is. A lot of people think, oh, it was just 2 banks that collapsed. No, it's all trickling down. It starts with one. The dominoes are beginning to fall. The cracks are beginning to show. I want you all to understand the risk involved right now by holding your money in banks. I don't believe that banks are safe at all. I've said it time and time again. I would not be holding my assets on exchanges either. Make sure that you are holding all your assets in cold storage. And also, I'm telling you right now, make sure to get physical assets, gold, silver. I'm telling you, it will benefit you greatly, because right now, I don't believe that fiat is even safe. I don't. I've talked about it many times on this channel. I do believe that the US dollar is at a systemic risk area as well, with the BRICS moving extremely fast against the US dollar. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, to notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As it was up to you all, have a beautiful day or a beautiful night, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.